kind of breaking down this cloth reveal transition effect. It's not too hard of a system to understand. You can update the textures and update the way it builds really quickly. So you can kind of vary out a lot of transitions within just a few minutes. Okay, so if we look at this node root, it's being fed by these two blocks of data here. And each of these blocks are very similar, but there's just one main difference between the two. And I'll show you that here. So if we zoom in and we plug a viewer node into this first set of data, you'll notice that I have a bunch of horizontal lines. And then if we zoom out a little bit, come down here to our second block of data, and I view this, you're gonna see that it's very similar, but this set of lines here are just a bunch of vertical lines, top to bottom. So what we do next with this join geometry node is we join those horizontal lines and those vertical lines. And now that I'm viewing that data, you'll notice that we get this big grid. Now, once we join our vertical lines and our horizontal line, we then come over here and we add in a set curve radius node. And what I'm using that node for is essentially to create a trim path effect to reveal the lines. Now, the cool thing about this effect is that I'm revealing those lines based on our geometry's position in relation to an empty object's location. So the cool thing is with this empty object selected, I can kind of move this around and we can dictate where that trim path effect comes from. Now, once we have our set curve radius effect dialed in, we then can add a couple layers of displacement to really sell this effect. The first, if I unmute it here, is just a layer of displacement that kind of complements that trim path as those lines reveal themselves. This layer of displacement kind of sells the fact that there's movement and energy occurring. And now finally, this second layer of displacement, once I unmute that, you'll notice that this is just a general layer of displacement that occurs on our object as a whole. So once our first initial layer of displacement kind of reveals those threads, we still have a secondary level of displacement to kind of sell the fact that this is a piece of cloth. And finally, we just bring in our set material node to kind of give this a texture.